caught in their closed guard down on the ground here. Now, from this position here, we're just going to control the legs. If we need, we come down to the feet. We're going to start to lift, and as I lift here, I circle my palms so that my thumbs end up on the inside. So I'll start with my fingers on the inside most likely. So if he's kind of down here, I'll be down in this position, fingers in. As I lift, I rotate so that my thumbs are on the inside. Now I'm going to start to drive up, and I want to get my tailbone, my chest right on his tailbone. Okay, so he's really high up on his neck. Once we've got him in this position here, we're going to come through and body lock. So we actually go from this grip here around his waist, locking. I like to use an S grip, but you don't have to. So we get this S grip here, and we're going to post up on our toes so I can drive into him. One of his defenses to this pass, if you put your head down on the mat, just straight, yep. One of his defenses is he puts his head down into the mat and he looks up and he makes his legs heavy. So as I push in, he sort of slides like that, and it's hard for me to put that stacking pressure up. So what I want to do is when I get right up high like this straight away, the idea is that I'm trying to stop him at that first point where he can lift his head up. So I get right up high, putting on this pressure. So when he tries to look up and move, now I can follow him driving off my toes if I need it. But if I can get him nice and high like this, he shouldn't actually be able to slide backwards. That's more effective when he's here. When he's here, now you see he's going to be able to move. If you notice that that's happening, what we're going to do is use this S grip to pull them back in here. Try and get them on your hips so they're nice and high. Then switch our grip back to this one. And then we just reset and we go again. So now I get to here, and driving up. So we'll do the pass first, and then we'll do the back take second. So now one of my hands, doesn't matter which one, is going to come through across to the opposite shoulder. Okay, so it doesn't matter which way you go, you're just going to go across, kind of like your forearms, trying to do a forearm choke when you've got the gi, like that. Okay, so I'm up here like this. I'm going to start to drive my weight, looking towards his butt. As I feel his legs go past, I'm going to let go, and I'm going to try and catch the inside of that inside leg nice and high. So that in this position I'll drop with my forearm here and his leg here. The idea of this is, if he tries to turtle, I can slow him down with that grip. That gives me time to now trap this arm. Once that arm's trapped, even if I don't have this, try to go to your knees. Very hard to belly down with that arm trapped there. Okay, so that's the idea. This is kind of buying us time so that we can then control the head. If we wanted to cradle, we could, but we don't need to, sort of thing. So we take them down, we end up here. Lower yourself down, switch the fingers inside as you push the thumbs. Drive up, sit him onto his sort of neck and post up like that. Get my S grip from here, lean, keep that pressure on, catch. Okay, you want to stop him from turtling. We'll go over what to do if they turtle next. So now this leg stops him from rolling first. Then I get my control under the head with my crossface, and then I can do what I want with my arms from there. Actually, we'll one more. Go from the start. We'll just do one sort of a whole thing, just at sort of normal-ish speed. So we're out here. We snap him down. Bang, he postures up. Kick, come through. Stack, getting up high. Control, start to drive in, catch the leg, and then finish inside control here. Cool. Choke them off that same pass. Okay, so just jump down for me for 1 sec. So we come in, we started to lift. As I was saying before, you want this control on the legs to control them until your hip pressure can take over. So now the pressure on his hips is controlling him. That's when I quickly switch off to my body lock. Now, from here, we had our grip across onto the shoulder like we were going for a forearm choke on the last one. We're going to use that same grip, but now we're going to let them go to turtle, and we're going to catch them in a D'Arce choke. So from this position here, I reach through, and I'm trying to cup his far shoulder, so I've got some attachment. Now I start to lean more to the side so that he rolls kind of into this fetal position here. This hand that's on his shoulder is now going to twist around and go under his neck. Once I've done that, I keep my weight heavy on this arm, and if he's on his side here like that, his usual first response is to want to try and get to his knees. He may try and go to his back, but whichever one he does doesn't really bother us because we can finish in two different ways. So if he's just on his side for now, even if he just stays on his side like that, all I'm going to do now is keep my weight down on him, and I'm going to keep walking so that I'm in front of his body. As I do that from here, this arm is going deeper and deeper and deeper. So this was my arm that was on that forearm choke. It's changed and it's come around his neck here. Now I'm going to start to reach in for my bicep. I want to lock this hand as close up his back as I can, like under your head even. Because the more you can do this, the more it flexes your elbow for you and the more it makes it tight. Now to finish the choke here, we can either just sprawl straight back and then squeeze, or the way I like to do it is I like to fall onto my hips so I'm facing his legs. So from here, I fall sideways because that starts to twist his neck a bit. Now from here, I can use my leg to either hook over his leg so he can't run backwards and get away from me, or I can try, if I need to come over that arm, I don't need to right now, but if this arm here was kind of over there like that, in this position, I can use my leg to help pinch that arm down and take that space away. Okay, so I've got my grip, I fall onto my side, so I'm sort of tweaking his neck at the same time, and then squeeze. A lot of neck crank and choke. Yeah. So I'm here like this. I start off usually 4 fingers in, push, thumbs go in. I use my hands to control him until my chest can take over. Then I go to my S grip on that body lock. I reach for the far shoulder. Now I try and turn him to the side. As he does, my chest is low the whole time. Hand goes under the neck. I walk around so I'm in front. Lock my bicep. Bend my arm. And now if you can, sit onto your hips so you're facing their legs. From here, if you can hook their leg, that's great because it stops them from being able to bridge and move backwards that way. And now from here, squeeze the foot on the finish. So we go once more from the start. So I've taken him down here, controlling the feet. I start to stack, put my chest in, I'm holding. Reach for the shoulder, come around. Keep my hand in deep, lock, sit onto my side, hook if I can. Open guard position here. Again, coming through, hands underneath. If you need, come down low, turning so the thumbs are on the inside, driving up until our chest can come into contact, and that's when we switch off to our body lock. Now, there's a fine line between enough pressure that it makes him uncomfortable and so much pressure that you force him to roll. Whenever we're passing the guard, if we want to get to their back, ideally we do it, sorry, take pressure off your neck for a sec. Ideally we do it in a way where we dictate if they go to turtle, not our passing's a bit loose and they manage to get to turtle without us in control. The good thing with this technique is we should be in control and know they're going to go to turtle. So here I'm trying to put this pressure on here. Once we're nice and high, it sort of takes away a lot of his early escapes where he looks into the floor and then he stretches, he gets his legs back in and all that sort of stuff. So when we get them stacked right up in this position here, the usual response is to go to turtle, and we're going to encourage them. So from this position here, I'm going to post back up on my feet if I'm not already, and now I'm going to use this body lock to literally lift them, like deadlift them up and flip them onto a turtle. So I'm going to pull in and pull him over like that. As soon as he's landed there, I'm going to drop, back step here, and I'll end up in this position with my knee in against his hip, my other leg out, and just in control of the hips here. So now I can start working on my back takes. Okay? We may as well just do one since we're here. So this position from here, all we're going to do is get our seatbelt grip. So we want to come near side over the shoulder. We want far side under the armpit. Never the other way around. Never like this. Okay, here you're either going to get flipped or he's going to pop his head out, he's just going to take your back or whatever. So I always want to make sure it's near side over the shoulder, far side under. And remember on our seatbelt we're controlling so the choking hand is protected by our underhook hand here. Now from this position, I'm going to switch my knees. So my outside knee comes down, my inside knee comes up, and I'm going to start to fall kind of in a circular pattern here. Okay, so the idea is to use the pressure of my seatbelt, you to stay strong. I'm going to try and fall, putting pressure on his head. Then from this position, as I come backwards, I bend his neck again to make him fall. Okay, and as he falls, I'd like to catch and get both of my hooks in, but we'll do that on the next one, okay? And then we've got the back as well, so just jump down again. So I'm in my passing position here, come down, elevate, drive my chest onto his tailbone. I'm trying to pass, but then I realize I want his back. So now I keep my weight on him by popping up. Now I'm going to lift and pull him straight through. In. From this position, chest down, back step, and I end up on the back. Seatbelt grip comes in, switch my legs. Drive, and as he falls, shooting my hooks in. So bottom hook shoots in, top hook steps over, and straight away I'm in position here with a nice tight seatbelt, ready to work on his back. And we've got our 4 points. 1. Passing, come down, push, control, post up, get nice and high. Back step through, seatbelt grip, legs in.